Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers would practically build themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv, and it is, well, it's the Christmas season again. It's upon us. I thought for this little video today that since it's Christmas season, Christmas trains, I know I do a lot of train stuff, but hey, it's the Christmas season, and you gotta have a train around the tree, and you know, kids like train sets. Every kid has had a train set. Come on, every kid. Well, almost every kid. I know I had several of them as a kid. Today, we're going to look at a couple of train sets. And what we're going to look at particularly is recently, if you follow the Kit Hoarder Stash, I picked up a collection from a local person for 40 bucks. And it was a couple of train sets from Tyco. They were old. They were from the 1990s, early 1990s. And they didn't have the complete box, but all of the cars that seem to be complete. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what I've done to kind of Mervize them, make them something a little bit better than what they were, and we're going to see how they run, and just kind of have a fun little go back to the days of train sets. So stick with us. And Mad Dog Merv's gonna look at the recent train sets that he just got and how well they work. So if you tune into the Kit Hoarder Stash, not too long ago I picked up this collection locally for 40 bucks of some Tyco engines and cars, a couple of different train sets that just came in this box. The Chattanooga Choo-Choo, and there is this one that has a Rock Island engine. I thought it was a Shark engine, it turned out it wasn't. Anyway, so here it is. I looked it up on eBay and go for about 100 bucks these days, complete in the box. This is a 1991 edition of the Chattanooga Choo-Choo, by the way. It has an engine, or I should say an electric motor in the engine and not in the tender. So to kind of spruce this up a little bit, I took some actual coal, some real coal, ground it up, and put it in the tender, and I think it looks a whole lot better than the plastic load that was in there. The other set is the Overnight Freight by Tyco, again a 1991 release. I thought it was pretty exciting that it was going to have a Shark motor in it, and I opened it up, and no, there's no Shark motor. It's an F9. So here's the Rock Island engine, and I found the parts for it. So it looks like I can just put these in, and so I'm going to do that, and we're going to see if this thing runs. Okay, so I have loaded up in my airbrush here some of the Tamiya's flat clear number XF86. I really don't like on these Tyco cars in particular how toyish they look, and the reason I say that is they're really bright and shiny. Trying to find where I put it. Okay. I mean, you see how shiny that is? It's so toy looking. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my XF86 and I'm just going to give this a coat and try and flatten it out. Okay, we'll see how this turns out once it's dry, but I can already see that we've cut the sheen way down on this, and if I want to weather it further, of course we can. The same with this car. I mean, look at that. Beautiful, bright, shiny red. I don't even think it came from the factory. That's shiny. So we're going to dull this thing up. These aren't the easiest things to handle sometimes. Okay, we'll see how that one looks when it's dried. I'm going to shoot the top of this one for sure. Okay. And it looks like I have just a little bit left. I'll shoot the Chattanooga Choo-Choo caboose here, because again I think it's a little bit too, yeah, too shiny and toy-like. Okay, we'll see how this looks when it's dry. Anything else we can hit? Yeah, let's take care of the top of this. Sides aren't too bad. I got a little bit left. We'll hit the side real quick. All right. Next step. So now we're going to move on to the wood load that goes on this particular car here, and the load is in. Well, it's in two separate pieces, but what I'm going to do, so I've kind of held it together here, and I'm going to take some, to me, is ultra thin cement, and I'm just going to run it down the bead, or sorry, run it down the center to cement this together. Hold it for about 25 or 30 seconds. I'm not going to hold it that long, but yeah, it works pretty darn quick. And there you go, one piece. So now I'm going to take some Larry's bath water, and if you're not sure what Larry's bath water is, look at one of my earlier videos from a year ago. It talks about making a pin wash or using a pin wash, and it's it'll go through the whole thing on how you make Larry's bath water, but it's basically a wash. And what I'm going to do, yeah, those logs are okay, but they're awfully shiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wash, and I'm just going to put some right down the logs here, and it's going to color them just a little bit, but mostly it's going to go into the low areas, and it's going to give me a little bit more definition between the logs. And I'm probably going to just do that here on the sides too. Yeah, I am going to do it here on the sides. And I can clean off the excess. The nice thing about this pin wash is it's very easy to remove from the areas I don't want it once it dries. Very liberal with it here. I know it may look a little strange right now, but it's okay. It's going to dry just fine. We'll highlight it and clean it up a little bit, and it'll be ready to go on the flat car. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so I've got this, it's just kind of a light gray, but it's a oil-based paint, and I'm going to take my brush and just dry brush these logs. my brush dry, and I'm just gonna kind of scrub over the top of the logs. And with that scrubbing motion, that's the result I get. I'm going to do the same thing to the face to just pick up a few more highlights that when I did my wash I might have covered up. So this will revitalize, if that's the right term. This one's not done. You can see this one is done. So. Do 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 do. And I'm just very little bit of paint, and I'm just going over with kind of a scrubbing motion. I just want to make sure that I've got everything that I want. This will only pick up the highlights, like the ridges on the wood. All right. There you go. I think it turned out pretty good. I'll throw that load right in the car there, and a whole lot better than it was when I started. Now, as far as our box cars that were really shiny and toy-like, you can see it's definitely not as shiny as it was. That Tamiya flat did a really good job. Same here. So now I think this is ready to do some weathering on, and we'll do some washes and a few other things to it. But at least now it's not that terrible shiny color that it was. So even the caboose looks much better. Let's have a couple of run-bys. First, the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. And the thing about this, you'll notice it's running fairly slow. Most of those Tyco engines, they would just go like full speed or nothing. This actually, you can run at low speed. So we'll run this, and then we'll run that Rock Island.